So let me set this up. I'm a fan of David Duke. I own David Duke's book My Awakening and a couple other books by David Duke. I've followed David Duke since I was a kid. My dad followed David Duke. It's a family tradition to read David Duke's writings and go to his website and stuff like that. Well, not really his website. My dad expired prior to David Duke's website being up. But my point is that essentially how it works is this. I have no clue who Baked Alaska is, except for I know he's the dude that was at Unite the Right, and he was in a vehicle with Dr. David Duke after the whole riot thing broke out. But I don't really know much about Baked Alaska besides that. I am not a follower of this alt-right shit. I don't know much about the alt-right. And to be honest, I don't even really follow David Duke very much since he went carnivore and seems to have lost his mind a little bit. Like, he started supporting Jair Bolsonaro, who is a good friend of Israel, and I started wondering, like, what is he thinking? Like, yeah, Bolsonaro claims to be a fascist, but he's also a good friend of Israel. Does that sound, what's going on in your brain, buddy? But my point is that's the only reason I even know who Baked Alaska is. Now, what's funny is Mersh challenged Baked Alaska to a fight, so of course Baked Alaska accepted the fight because Mersh looks like Mersh. Okay, this is very similar to Adonis challenging me to a karate match, and me accepting the karate match, and Royce Lopez challenging me to a mixed martial arts match, and me accepting the mixed martial arts match. Even though Royce outweighs me by at least 2 times. And people that have grappled, like that have actually done jiu-jitsu, I've done jiu-jitsu, I've done catch wrestling. Not a lot, that's not my martial art. I would just screw around with friends of mine that were grapplers. I'm primarily a striker, and even with that, most of my striking is based in self-defense based stuff, so a lot of it is more like, it's more based in like combatives than it is really like ring fighting, although I have taught ring fighting to my students, and I have also participated in ring fighting. That's not really my thing. I did fairly well at it, but it's not really my thing. I've also been in grappling competitions. I'm not as good at grappling as I am at striking. I've done fairly well in grappling also, but not great. Okay, so the point is me grappling. Doing a mixed martial arts involves a fair amount of grappling, especially with somebody as heavy set as Royce is. It would be very unfair. It'd be like me grappling a guy. It would be like me grappling 3 or 4 opponents. The weight is just, it's too much weight. One of my fondest memories of jiu-jitsu was I was grappling a guy that's about 320 pounds, and he sprawled out on me and broke 2 of my ribs. That was one of my first experiences with jiu-jitsu. Japanese jiu-jitsu, not the Brazilian stuff, the Japanese stuff. So that's my experience here, but what people need to understand is when you start mouthing off, this is why real martial artists do not go around challenging people to fights on the internet. I'd fight you, 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 I'd fight you. This is the stuff that people like Mersh or Adonis say. The reason that legitimate martial artists don't go on the internet and challenge random people to fights, sooner or later somebody's going to accept the fight. And then if you're a wuss like Adonis or Mersh, you're left backing out and looking like a pussy. And that is not good for your image, so to say. Especially if what you do is teach martial arts. You don't want to be talking a bunch of smack and then you're like, oh, I gotta back out. And like, honestly, to be quite honest, I'm not, like, now I'm actually even more confident at fighting than I was when I accepted the challenges between Royce and, like, when Royce and Adonis challenged me, and I'd probably have wiped the floor with both of them. But the point is, I'm even more confident now because I have more cardiovascular endurance. I'm a little bit healthier. I might not be as strong. I think I've lost a little bit of muscle mass, but I am healthier. I can move a lot better. and my health has improved to the point where I'm not going to just like keel over, because I was not in the best of shape. But that didn't stop me from accepting those matches, because I knew that I didn't really have to be that healthy to kick the crap out of two people that were that clearly that bad at fighting. I don't think either of them have actually been in an actual fight in either of their lives. I really don't. If Royce did any mixed like MMA stuff, I'm sure he was doing it and the people were playing with him to give him a sense of false confidence because he was giving them promotion or something like that. That's my guess. And that's where that's going. But let's watch this, because this is utterly hilarious. I don't want to take away too much from the whole Mersh being a pathetic weeble wobble here. If people don't remember weeble wobbles, Google weeble wobble.
Big, it's Pod Awful. Let's get that fight going. Hell yeah! Is that really you? Let's fucking go, dude. If that's you, I want Pod Awful to be the announcer. Maybe like Pod Awful and Ralph or some shit. I don't know if you guys get along, but it'd be great to have both of you.
I respect that, Bruce. Yo, thank you.
It'd be crazy. It is. Email me, podawful Gmail. Okay. Hey, what? Serge? I think Serge. Can someone just DM me his email?
I'm gonna leave a link in the description actually to this Angie's Random Edits. I like her stuff, so I'll leave a link in the description to this, to the original video.
And we'll make it happen. Let's go! Shout out to Pod Awful, by the way. Fucking dope ass dudes. They had me on their podcast back with Brittany Venti back in like 2017. So Mersh would never box baked. Why not? He said he was going to fight me.
Hey, Chet.
I challenged.
This is very similar to him backing out of the fight with Alan Powell also. Mersh also backed out of a fight with Alan Powell.
To a fight last night. He waddled his fucking penguin ass away. Dude, guys, here's the thing. Like, I knew that people were... I knew that Mersh was fat. I didn't know he was that fat.
Really? From the Revenge of the...
I don't think anybody knows that this dude is this fat until they see it. It actually looks fake. Like, honestly, the first couple times I saw Mersh, I was like, dude, this has gotta be fake. There's no way that a human being is supposed to be built like this. I mean, it's comically, ridiculously fat. Like, he doesn't look human. He looks like he has some sort of disease, such as Down syndrome or something like that would cause you to develop weird deposits of fat. Like, it's bizarre. It is really bizarre when you see how this guy's built. This is how Mersh is built. Keep watching.
What the? Hold on, buddy. How you doing? How you doing?
Who it is, Mersh?
And I love this. Look at the Cobra Kai t-shirt. This is another thing. Adonis is also obsessed with Cobra Kai to the point where he paid one of the Cobra Kai actors with that gentleman has a very weak bone structure too, but he paid another gentleman from Cobra Kai that also has a very weak bone structure to try to intimidate me. I guess it was like $150 or something. This is how these people spend money and then wonder why they have to constantly pimp themselves out to mooch more money off their viewers, because they're throwing money into stuff like creme brulee and having Korean actors insult people. So what's funny is they're obsessed with Cobra Kai. Now, what's funny about that, Pat Johnson, the guy that choreographed the original Karate Kid series, the movies, and also taught them the karate, Cobra Kai karate is actually what I do. It's Tung Sudo. It's a Korean system of martial arts loosely based on the Okinawan system. There's some Chinese Kung Fu in there and a couple other things that Master Huang Ki put together. And also some Western boxing and some grappling techniques from Judo and Aikido. Now, what's funny about that is that these people are so obsessed with these martial arts like shows and movies and stuff that, now what I was going to say is Pat Johnson was also taught by the same Grandmaster as me, Grandmaster Jay Chul Shin. I was not taught by Jay Chul Shin. I was taught by Donald Drum, who was taught by Jay Chul Shin, but Jay Chul Shin was taught by Master Huang Ki, the founder of the Muda Kwan School of Tung Sudo, as well as being taught by the original founder of Tung Sudo, as well as also being the teacher of Master Chuck Norris, who is the guy that founded Chungkukdo, which is also known as Chuck Norris's fighting style, or American Tung Sudo. I like to call what I do American Tung Sudo because we do have a lot of American influence. It's very Americanized, very geared towards self-defense and fighting. Self-defense and fighting in a ring. So it's more geared toward that, less geared toward understanding the origins of the Hwarang Knights and all that stuff. Although it hasn't always been like that. My instructor changed it up about 20 years ago. But originally it was like World Tung Sudo, where you had to learn about Tai Kian, and like Tai Kian is the indigenous Korean form of martial art, and you had to learn about the Hwarang Knights and all that stuff. Not so much like that anymore. Wasn't like that after I was in there for a bit. But let's go on with this.
Wow.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah. Damn, you're fat as fuck. Holy shit. I mean,
look at that gut slap. He's acknowledging, look at me, I'm a huge fat pig. This is hilarious.
This is Tampa. Wow.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah. Damn, you're fat as fuck. Holy shit. I mean, let's be fair. Tampa. Wow.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah. Damn, you're fat as fuck. Holy shit. I mean, let's be fair. Yeah. Camera.
That's classic, man. That is classic. This dude is not even, like, how is he even built like a human? Like, he really does look like he has some kind of congenital illness that causes him to deposit fat in weird places on his body. I mean, it's bizarre. And it's funny because, like, if you see his face is not really that fat. But the rest of him, good golly.
No, I'm great.
He kind of looks like Bob's Big Boy. If Bob's Big Boy was wearing a Cobra Kai shirt and khaki shorts. And is that his prostitute? I know that Mersh has a thing for the prostitutes. Is that his prostituta? Let's see.
Oh yeah, why don't you fight me, bitch? Talk some more shit. Yeah. I mean, are you trying to do that right now? Yeah.
And there it is. And there it is. People don't understand. This is like when people challenge people to a fight and they accept, they don't understand, and then they try and find ways out. Are you trying to do that right now? 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 People that throw hands are ready to throw hands. That's how it works. You don't challenge a guy to a fight, meet him on the street, and then wuss out like that. This is what happens when people have big mouths. They run their big mouths.
This is Tampa. Wow.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah. Damn, you're fat as fuck. Holy shit. I mean, let's be fair. Yeah. Camera. No, I'm great. Oh yeah, why don't you fight me, bitch? Talk some more shit. Yeah. I mean, are you trying to do that right now? Yeah.
Or are you trying to do that right now? You trying to do that right now, huh? You trying to do that right now? I gotta drink some more beer and add some more body fat to me. How does he get that? What the hell is this guy eating? Is this what a diet of CBDX gummies and frickin' beer and whatever the hell else he's drinking? Is this the physique that it gives you? Because I'll tell you what, if this is what CBD does to the human body, they need to find a way to look into the dangers of CBD and really let people know that CBD could turn you into a human blob.
Oh, he runs like a coward.
Well, he doesn't really run. I don't think that Mersh has the ability to run at all. I don't think he could run if he tried to. Like, I honestly don't think that if he was in mortal danger, I don't think that he could run, and I think that if he did run, that might put him in more danger than if he stood still like a scared deer.
Oh, like a coward! Fucking coward, fat fuck. Mersh like a coward. He won't fight me. Dude, I couldn't believe he's so fucking fat!
Can anybody believe that? I gotta hear that again. Can anybody believe that he's that fat?
Oh, he runs like a coward. Oh, like a coward. Fucking coward, fat fuck. Mersh like a coward. He won't fight me. Dude, I couldn't believe he's so fucking fat. This guy's been talking shit to me on the internet for like the past 5 years. Holy.
That's the thing, they talk shit for like he said, for like 5 years. I've been being harassed by these people for over half a decade they've been harassing me, trolling me, everything else, but yet they puss out when they challenge me to a fight. It's actually the indignity of being challenged by people that are so below the average person, and then not only do they challenge you to a fight, but they puss out the second you accept the fight, or they come up with some ridiculous excuse to back out of the fight. It's insane. And that's the thing, that's why true martial artists, unless they're exceptionally good, which is rare, and even they sometimes get shown that they're nah. It's not a good idea to keep challenging everybody and their brother and mother and sister and father and whatever to a martial arts match, because you are going to run into somebody that is going to hand you your ass. But these people don't have to worry about that because they're pretend martial artists. I don't think Mersh is a pretend martial artist, but he's a pretend tough guy. He thinks he's a mafioso. He thinks he's a pretend tough guy. And this guy, Baked Alaska doesn't actually look like a particularly tough guy, but he'd wipe the floor with Mersh. I don't think Mersh could. He'd just walk around, moving around him like one of them, like a weeble wobble, like one of those clown punching bags where you just hit it and it falls down and pops back up and falls down and pops back up. I would actually pay money to see that. I would pay money to see that match.
Shit! I just challenged him to a fight. Pussy ass bitch! Pussy ass bitch! He said something.
If he challenged you to a fight,
yeah.
You know who he was. Why did you even say that? Why didn't
What?
you just clean this clock and then say motherfucker?
Because
Now, see, this is the thing, though. If somebody challenges you to a fight, I agree with Baked here. If somebody challenges you to a fight, a legit fight, you're not going to sucker punch the guy or something like that. It's a fight. It's a fight. It's a fair fight. It should be a fair fight. And that's what's you don't just clean somebody's clock and then go, as this gentleman says, you don't just clean their clock and then say something. If they challenge you to a fight, you got to make sure it's at least a legitimate, fair fight, and both competitors know that they are competing.
I'm on probation, so you can't do things like that. It was fucking crazy. Like, this dude is the fattest motherfucker I've ever seen. Like his fat is just like protruding out of his body, like his body.
That's what I mean. It's like he has some kind of disease that makes him look inhumanly fat. He doesn't even look like a human. He's so fat. It's ridiculous.
Body type is not supposed to be fat, but this motherfucker eats so much.
His body type is hippopotamus, or Mersh is the result of a hippopotamus and a manatee mating.
It's crazy. I was, yeah, he's like pregnant fat. Like, I was just shocked.
Look, I've seen a lot of pregnant chicks. He's beyond. He's hippomanatee fat.
Like, holy shit, because like on the show you just see his fucking face. So I was like, oh, like maybe he's a little chubby.
I quit smoking pot when I was like in my early, I think I was like 21 when I quit smoking pot. If I had to watch this and get baked at the same time, I don't know if I'd survive.
Or something like, but like I saw him in person, and it was fucking rough. And the crazy thing is, this dude spends years talking shit about me. He spends years.
Exactly, they mouth off for years. It's not like they say one thing. No, they go after you for years, over half a decade with me. They don't shut up. And they're constantly challenging you and belittling you and all this other shit. And they have the audacity to challenge normally built people to a fight. It's hilarious.
Talking shit about me. And yet I call him out. He couldn't even say anything to my face. He wouldn't fight me.
That's exactly what happened with Adonis there. He pussed out, and then he had to keep coming up with these stupid excuses. Finally, the excuse was that I was mentally handicapped, which I'm not. Being mentally ill is not mentally handicapped. I've been in full contact fights and stuff. I'm legally responsible. That's all that needs to happen is you have to be legally responsible for your decisions. Like if I go and I committed a crime, I would be legally responsible because my faculties are such that I would not, I'm disabled because of a mental health issue. That's not the same thing as being mentally handicapped or mentally disabled. It's a different thing. They don't understand that because they're stupid. They don't understand laws, and they came up with that. They came up with that as a pathetic excuse because clearly Mary is mentally disabled, but that doesn't stop them from harassing this woman to the point where they're trying to get her to kill herself.
You wouldn't, stand up. So I gave a formal fight invitation to Mersh. I'm giving him 60 days. 60.
Who remembers when I gave them till the end of the month to put the frickin' the agreements, the legal agreements in my mailbox so that I could sign them and get the fight on? And they wouldn't do it. They would not do it because they're pussies. They're a bunch of pussies. And it's ridiculous because Royce literally, it would be like me grappling 3 or 4 people. He's that fat. He is that fat. If I was fighting him, body shots would be worthless. I would literally have to headhunt the whole time, which I can do. I'm good at doing. I'm good at getting headshots. I'm good at working the head because my system of martial arts is based on self-defense. It's based on basically the goal of American Tang Soo Do is back from the Chuck Norris days is knock your opponent down with one punch. So a lot of it is based on headhunting, either with kicks or with punches. But the point is that this is hilarious. And the one funny thing is, Adonis says that you can't kick somebody in the head. That was one of his things when he had me hanging out in his live streams. You can't kick somebody in the head. To quote Chuck Norris, you should be able to kick anywhere you want to kick. If you want to kick somebody in the head, you should be able to kick them. A lot of these people that do not do either Korean martial arts or the Korean-Japanese martial art of Kyokushin do not understand that you can kick somebody in the head and maintain your balance if you know how to kick. If you know how to kick. A lot of people don't know how to kick because they're fake martial artists.
Today's October 1st. Let's do the fight. It'll be a boxing match. We'll stream it and all that. Tampa, Florida. Let's make it happen. So, you guys got to press him. Because I'm down. I'm going to be there. If he shows or not, October 1st. So,
Adonis got pressed, and that was when he came up with this excuse, and then backed out, and then re-challenged me, and then backed out, and then re-challenged me, and then backed out, and re-challenged me, and then backed out, and re-challenged me. I mean, these limp dick Jesus freaks, you can't trust them. You can't trust them.
And Mersh,
press him about it.
I challenge your boyfriend, Mersh. I challenge your boyfriend to boxing.
60-day notice.
Because remember, not too many people can say they were a gay coke dealer except for Mersh. Mersh brags about being a gay coke dealer.
You definitely won that exchange. Yeah, I know. I had boxing gloves in the car. I was ready to fight him right there on the street.
See, now that's the beauty of karate. Karate, we don't use no boxing gloves. Full contact karate, nice and bare knuckle. You get the knee, you get to use your shins, you get to use your feet, you get to use your bare fists, your elbows, your head. You get to really level a motherfucker with karate. And that's the beauty of karate versus boxing. I wasn't doing any of this boxing stuff. Adonis supposedly does his Wing Chun bullshit. Yeah, you know what? Wing Chun, you don't wear gloves either. But, apparently he only knows how to practice Chinese restaurant style, Chinese restaurant Wing Chun, where he probably learned it from that, what's that Chuck Norris movie, Sidekick, where it's a rip-off of the Karate Kid with the flying dragon. That's probably where Adonis learned it, at his fat girlfriend's parents' Chinese restaurant. That's probably what happened.
He wanted to waddle away like a fucking bitch, so let's organize it now. You made it.
I'm actually astonished Mersh didn't get scared, fall over, and roll away.
Friends laugh
like some shit from Gumby or something.
him for being fat. I know exactly, like, my, Carl, the streamer, Carl's friends with Mersh, and, like, he even messaged me, he's like, damn, Mersh is fucking fat. And he's like, and you're a January 6th defendant. He's like, he's gotta leave you alone, man. Like, you're an American hero, so.
See, he mentioned January 6th. I guess he was at January 6th also. But I only knew about him for being involved with the the Unite the Right thing where Dr. Duke, I'll leave a link to that in the description about Dr. Duke, where, you know, Trump betrayed the hell out of his base, and Dr. Duke was saying, no, we're gonna hold this fat fuck to what he said he was gonna do. But really, all Trump was a scammer. Trump with his platinum plan to reallocate money from the regular community to the black community with the platinum plan. It was basically like a communist Chinese rigmarole with special economic zones for the blacks and screw everybody else, was Trump's plan to try and get the black voters. And I kept telling Trump on Twitter, I'm like, you are not going to replace us with Jews and blacks. There's not enough of them to win the election. So you betrayed the people that supported you, the white working poor. You won't win. He barely won the first time. He barely lost the second time. I called that shit, didn't I? It was me and Richard Spencer were the only ones that were like, yo, it's Biden. Biden or bust, because, and now I didn't vote for Biden. I couldn't bring myself to vote for such a kook. But, and also Biden, I think, actually is a pedophile and probably is, you know, I don't know what's going on with Biden. There's something going on with Biden. I don't know. I don't know if he's a pedophile. But he's inappropriate. The touching is inappropriate. And the supposedly he fondled, I couldn't do that. And then Trump also has all that stuff. I looked the other way with Trump because I thought he was a civil nationalist and he betrayed us, but that's beside the point.
Even his friend Carl's calling him fucking fat ass.